Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, August 7th, 2020. The fire potential impacts are shown here for the next few days. For today, we're expecting some winds in the upper Snake River Plain and then across southern and southeast Utah. And then we'll also see a little band of isolated, generally dry thunderstorms move through northeast Nevada up along the Nevada-Utah border and far southern Idaho. Again, these thunderstorms should be isolated, but they will be generally dry, and with the continued very hot and dry conditions we have, we are a little bit concerned about some of those thunderstorms. For Saturday, just looking for the wind to continue across southeast Idaho, and then on Sunday as well, we may continue to see a few little isolated thunderstorms right along the Sierra Front and over the high Uintas. Yesterday, we just had a few isolated thunderstorms there along the Idaho-Nevada border, and then up near the Montana border as well. Current fire activity is shown here. I have a few fires popping up there in Idaho, right along that boundary between kind of the grass and the shrub there. And then, of course, some fires in northern Utah and northeast Nevada as well. ERCs have been coming up over the last couple of days, and we have quite a few that are above the 97th percentile here in western Utah and northern Utah. Further north, the values have been on the upward trend as well. Not quite as high, but still rising. And this high fire danger should continue, as we're not expecting any significant precipitation or a significant cool down in the coming week or so. A closer look at a few of these areas. The northern Sawtooth here is showing those values right at average for the time of year, which we are heading into peak fire season up there. And further south in west central Utah, those values are quite a bit above normal for the time of year. We're setting new historical records across much of western Utah and eastern Nevada, but typically we would see those values quite a bit lower for the first week of August. This morning's satellite imagery is a little bit messed up, but we can kind of see there's a ridge off to the east, and there's a little trough over the northern Rockies that has brought temperatures down just a little bit for today, taking the edge off of some very warm temperatures we've seen for the last few days. And then that's also going to allow a little bit of moisture to move up into northern Nevada and far southern Idaho to kick off some of those isolated thunderstorms along that band there. Elsewhere, very dry across the southern half of the Great Basin. So for today, we do have high risk issued for lightning across northeast Nevada, and then wind over southern and southeast Idaho and portions of southern Utah. These are all occurring because of that trough that's moving through the northern Rockies today. A closer look at the winds shows some gusts over southern and southeast Idaho and southern and southeast Utah, with gusts 30 to maybe 35 miles an hour. And then over northeast Nevada, we can see those higher areas of gusts, which will be associated with those drier thunderstorm outflows. Single-digit relative humidity is expected for over much of central and southern Nevada and into much of Utah as well. On Saturday, that trough still remains in place over the northern Rockies for some continued gusty winds over southern and southeast Idaho, but the winds lighten up over Utah, and we should just expect to see warm and sunny conditions. So really just expecting the winds over eastern Idaho and western Wyoming on Saturday, and continued low relative humidities across mostly Utah and Nevada. More of the same for Sunday as that low continues to slowly move off to the east. So continued warm and dry pattern with lighter winds area-wide on Sunday. So Sunday, generally light winds, just still a little bit of increased breeziness across the Snake River Plain, and continued dryness. The 3-day precipitation totals shown here are pretty much non-existent for the Great Basin, but we do see a little signal in northeast Nevada that's for today for some of those drier thunderstorms moving through the area there. On Monday, the dry pattern continues, but on Tuesday we do see a trough begin to develop over the Pacific Northwest and we'll actually see some moisture move in out ahead of this little trough, mostly into northern Nevada and far northeast Utah. So we do have high-risk triggers issued for Tuesday for much of northern Nevada. Some of these thunderstorms may linger into Wednesday, or at least Wednesday morning in some of these areas, as that trough still remains in place over the Pacific Northwest. And then on Thursday, the trough begins to move closer and should see some more thunderstorms fill into Idaho and possibly some gustier winds across the southern Great Basin. The 7-day totals don't show much after this next 3 days. As we move into next week, maybe we'll see a little bit more moisture signal move into northern Nevada and into Idaho. But for now, really just looking for pretty much dry conditions, at least through next Tuesday. And the extended forecast is still calling for below normal temperatures over the Northwest and Idaho, and below normal chances for precipitation over the Great Basin. So continued dry with periods of winds. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.